Hey everyone, Eric with Rockin' H TV with a lesson on how to make a Ford L9000 four-door. This is a top shelf replicas cab. I'm using two of them, and I'm going to go through the steps because this is going to make a really cool retro looking truck, and I'm going to share it with you so you can do your own. So I'm going to flip the camera around and we are going to get working on our truck. Here we go. Okay, as you can see here, I've got two Ford top shelf replicas, Ford L9000 trucks, the cabs here. I've already done a little work on these to kind of make this an efficient a video for you, so you can just grab this stuff and go. Anyways, so we have the front cab of our four-door truck, and what I did was I cut out the back of it with my Dremel, okay? And then there was a natural line right here where I went ahead and cut right along here on both sides and then cleaned it up with my Dremel. And this is the tool I'm using on this particular project. This is also the wheel that has got the fiber in it so it doesn't shatter and break apart like some of the other ones that come with it do. Okay, so real quickly I'm going to swipe left so I can see who's on and see the comments. There we go. And so what I've also done here is I made one cut right along here in the firewall, and then I'm going to make another one here live so you guys can see how that works. And we're going to cut out this firewall so we have kind of that natural open space between the two cabs. After I get done cutting this off, then we're going to take that Dremel, we're going to come in here and clean up this edge as well. You can use a sanding tool or something like that if you have one. I'll actually just do that with my Dremel this time so you can see how that works. Okay? So let's get to work on this. Okay, got my safety glasses on because I only have two eyes and I don't feel like losing either one of them. Alright, and here we go. So you can see how I cut the firewall out there, it's gone. And now we're going to come back in here. I'm actually going to cut, you can see there's a little hood latch right here. I'm going to take that hood latch off. I'm going to grind that down and just kind of sand that off a little bit. I'm not going to get too crazy here. I'm going to take some off just because I want to make this distance, I want to make the distance between the two cabs narrower. So I'm not going to get too crazy, but I am going to do some work here. Okay, and then you'll also notice as well, right here, that is beveled from front to back. So we're going to knock that off as well and clean all that up and true it up. Okay, and for some reason, guys, I can't see my comments at the moment. So if you're leaving comments, which I appreciate, I'm not seeing them for some reason. I can see who's watching, but I sure can't see the comments today. I don't know what the deal is. Video only mode. Nah, I can't tell what's going on here. Yeah, sometimes Facebook Live is a mystery. Sometimes I have the results I want and other times not. Okay, let's go ahead and do a little surgery right here. And I'm going to grab this with my, I'm going to grab it back here so, normally it's just, metal just gets really freaking hot. Here we go. Wow, that's terrible. Hey, there's a comment. Thank you, Adam. Now I know I'm not alone. Okay. Now be careful because this is going to be hot. Okay, this is just smoking right now. So I don't know if you could see that very well in the film, or in the video, but you'll notice these two sides are not really true and even and perfect gorgeous. So what I'm going to do is go to my disc sander. You could use a file, and let me grab one to show you. You could use a file to clean up these edges and make them perfect, okay? So don't be afraid to use good old-fashioned tools that you have around the house. You do not have to buy fancy tools to do anything that I do. And the only reason I use power tools is because I bought them cheap thinking I was going to use them for something else, and ended up, it's like, holy crap, this works for die-cast and this is so much faster? Well, yeah. Okay, so that's why I have power tools to use. Is, again, I just was planning on doing other things, and guys found they work so much better for die-cast. Okay, so now we can see we're making these edges nice and beautiful and clean on both sides. Look at there. Okay. Okay, check that out. These are the kind of results I want you to get, which is why I'm doing this video. You might be wondering why I'm doing this on a Sunday afternoon. I don't normally do Sunday videos, but I've always wanted to do a four-door top shelf replicas truck, this L9000 Louisville, and it seems like, you know, I can work here by myself in quiet, or I can hopefully help somebody else by showing you what I do. Okay, I'm kind of getting happy with that. Okay, see what we got there? What I want is these two edges right here to be, I want this right here and this to be pretty darn close to even top and bottom, okay? Now, let's do the litmus test. This is something I've been doing for quite a while because it works. So I'll take my handy-dandy vise that I built back in 1995 at Kansas State University in my one class I took. And I can't do that because that's there. I have to get creative. Alright, gonna have to do it differently. Alright, I'm gonna knock this off because it's in my way. You're gonna see why I did that here shortly. Okay, so here's what I like to do to make sure I get everything nice and perfect and gorgeous and even, is stick it on this vise and then true everything up, and then I can see how my lines are coming together on both sides. Now you can't see that in this angle in this shot, but you get the idea here. I got a perfectly flat surface, two perfectly flat lines here, where I can mate these two halves together, and ta-da, voila. Now I know that I don't need to do anything more. Now, I would tell you what is beautiful about using a top shelf replicas L9000 is this. This cab here is not narrow. It doesn't narrow from the back to the front. It's square all the way around, and then so this is all square as well on both halves. So what this means is on Freightliner, Internationals, and different kinds of cabs, what I have to do normally is cut with my Dremel a line here and here, make a cut all the way through, back to the back part of the cab, and then take those doors and widen them out, make it wider so it mates up to the front half, because most other cabs, everything else I've done, these cabs are narrower in the front than they are in the back. It's just giant pain. It just adds a whole lot of work and room for error, where this one eliminates a lot of error. So if you're wanting to start with a four-door, definitely recommend Top Shelf Replicas Ford, or a Top Shelf Replicas 4300 IH. Both of these cabs are very, very good to use as a first time into making four doors. Okay, only thing yet I have to do here is shave off the lights here, because I don't want those on. So give me just 2 seconds here, well, probably about 20 seconds, and I'll be right back after I sand these off. And just to demonstrate that you don't need a sander, you can also use your Dremel. See? And away they go. Matter of fact, why don't I just do it this way so you get the full effect. Okay, nice, huh? Look at that. Perfect. So our lights are off on the top. And it's somewhat smooth, but we're going to solve that smooth issue here in the next step. Okay, now if you're just joining us, again, taking both halves, sticking them on a perfectly flat surface. Whoops, if I'm all thumbs here. And we're going to mate these together so you can see how they come together like so. Okay, now the magic here is going to happen by us taking a little bit of super glue, and we're just going to use this as a temporary fix. Just a splash of super glue here and here. Okay, we're not using a lot because we don't need a lot here, and we're just going to put these together temporarily. Okay, so we're just going to let those chill. And then I'm going to get our handy dandy Instaset. Okay, I think I'm happy. We know that those are nice and even and gorgeous. Now we're going to take our Instaset here and just speed the process up so we can get on to the next step. Okay, now that those are together, you can see what we have. Look at that. Okay, now we have a big gap between in here and a big gap across the top. We need to fix that, don't we? Well, here's what we're going to do. We're going to take our little bit of electrical tape. You can use whatever color you like. I just happen to have some red laying around. Okay, so I got me a piece of electrical tape here, and we're just going to gently put that over the top like so. I'm not pulling that tight because I do not want that tape I don't want that electrical tape to fall into the crack at all. Okay. Okay, so I'm not pushing on it very hard. I just want it to hold my next step in place. Oh, come on now, get out of there. Okay. Steve Carey asks where do I get Instaset, and I'm buying that at Amazon. Just type in Instaset. This is the bottle I have. It's an 8-ounce bottle. It's way too much, but this is what you can get, and this is what it is. And just go to Amazon or your local hobby store. I buy mine on Amazon because I live in no man's land and there's none of this stuff around for me to use locally. So I have to buy 90% of whatever I use off the internet and have it shipped in. Okay, I already metered out my JB weld, and that's all this is, just good old-fashioned JB weld. Got it mixed up together, and now we're just going to go inside here, and we are going to make a big mess. That's what we're going to do. Look at that. Well, it doesn't have to be pretty, it just has to work. And I'm just going to kind of lightly tamp that into this crevice. Okay. And then since I got a big mess of it over on the side I don't want it, I'm going to try and get that where I can use it. Now you should know, guys, that the steps I'm doing here, I've done a couple of these 4-door videos. They all are pretty much the same. You're welcome. I did an IH 8600 4-door. I think that was a spec cast truck. I've got a Freightliner M2 video, and they're all essentially the same except for the part where I have to cut the roof. That part is a bit different. My Wi-Fi is not working very well here in the shop, so if you're blacking out on me or you see a pause in the action, that's the reason. I didn't use my data today. I want that to just get in there. And I'm going to drag it out. And don't worry if you make a mess. This stuff you can use a sander. Any sort of tool for your Dremel will help remove any of this JB weld that you don't want inside once you're finished with it. Whoops, sorry, I got my big fingers in the way and you can't see. Let me get this over here. Okay. We're just about rounding the corner on this. I'm also working on a tandem axle Chevy C65, but I've already done a video with a C65, so don't want to be too redundant. And off we go. We're just about done here. Now there's also these air horn holes inside here. That's going to be awfully hard to fill from the inside. You may have to come back from the outside and do that on top. So you may or may not have success coming from the inside on those air horn holes. And again, not to be too generous with this stuff, but like I said, you can always take it out, so it's not a big deal. Yeah, well, I'm not even getting it. I'm just making a mess in here. All right. Time to stop, isn't it? There we go. We'll figure it out. There we go. And then we'll just do this. And then a sanding wheel on your Dremel will remove and smooth up everything you put on the outside. Let's just see if we did that. Yep, we've got it coming out. Okay guys, that is what you want to do. I'm going to let this sit right here for the next 24 hours. It's going to dry nicely, and then we'll peel the tape off and do the next steps. So, whoops, forgot they were on. So if you have any comments or questions regarding this build, please leave them in the comment box. Don't be afraid to ask me anything, because I'm more than willing to share if it helps you make something awesome. And I don't see any comments or questions here at the end of this, so like I said, this is just an impromptu video. I'm making this anyways, and I just wanted to share it with those of you that are interested in building something like this, so you can do it. Save yourself some money. You don't have to pay someone. Now you can do it yourself. So that is this step in it, and then sometime this week I'll come back and do another one. And then we have Rockin' HTV tomorrow night at 8:30 Central. Not exactly sure what I'm going to talk to you about tomorrow night, but we're going to work it out, and I'll have something for you tomorrow evening. So join me tomorrow evening, 8:30 Central, for Rockin' HTV. I think we're on session 39, I believe, and we will go from there. So let me see here. Quentin is asking me, what did I use? And I'm not exactly sure what you're referring to, excuse me, to Quentin, but what I'm using here is 2 top shelf replicas L9000s. Those Fords, the Louisvilles that came out, I don't know, what, 18 months ago? Excuse me, anyways. So that's what I'm using to make this 4-door. And if you go back and watch the replay, you can see how I did everything to get it to this point. All right. Okay. So with that, guys, I'm going to sign off for this Sunday afternoon. I'm going to go goof off in my house. We'll catch you later. Have a great day. Bye.